Word on the street. FisMaz Show. What's the word on the street? Like who got the beats that be killing the game? Who's up on the screen? Who playing who? What's the score on the sheet? Fiso the Prince got him taking the seat. Got the legends giving us the 411. FisMaz from the 031. No hating sports and entertainment when we got it on and we're the only ones. And after all that action, love how we dripping high fashion. Drippy on some rich amnesty stylists and soak up with passion. If it's giving us less, then we never settle. Make sure you pull up and bring all your medals. Sit back and relax, let's go. It's FisMaz bringing you the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show.
What up, y'all? JP Doom here, and you're listening to my main man on the FisMaz Show.
Hello, everyone. Really looking forward to today's chat because, well, it's almost time for the Olympic Games, and the one sport I always really look forward to having a close eye on is hockey, of course. Both the South African men's and women's teams will be competing out at Tokyo 2020, and what an occasion it is for so many of our players who are going to their first ever Olympic Games. I've got one such player who I'll be chatting with today just to get, I guess, an idea with regards to how preparations have gone, the journey he's taken personally, you know, from a talented young man to a national player, a player who's gone on to play in Europe as well. So yeah, still plenty to come, but already a really exciting career for this particular individual. And I'm going to bring him in now. His name is Nqobile Ntuli. Bili, no doubt, looking forward to the Olympic Games. Preparations have been going smoothly, I hope, out in Potchefstroom.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it, Mazi. Firstly, thank you for having me on the show. And yeah, like you say, it's the final step now ahead of us, and it's really exciting, but also nerve-wracking. So there's a lot of emotions going through the mind right now, but it's exciting nonetheless.
You speak of those emotions. I mean, no doubts, you've got to be extremely proud, not only to be playing for your country, but you know, to be selected for an Olympic Games. I mean, that's not child's play.
Yeah, I mean, as the cliche goes, it's definitely a childhood dream of mine. It's something I've worked towards my whole life. I originally just wanted to be a national player, but then as you grow up, you hear of all the tournaments that involve being a national player, and the Olympics is definitely one of the top ones. So it's really exciting, and like I say, it's a lot on my shoulders, but I'm ready for it, and I'm excited.
You know, the whole aim of today's chat for me, I mean, is to peel back the layers and to, I guess, just to have a very fun conversation. I don't want us to be stiff. So I mean, I want to take it way back. You know, I remember you still blowing your nose as a little kid, you know, coming to watch us play on the hockey field with your brother who was in my team. I mean, it's a long time ago, but it's good memories.
For sure, for sure. I mean, I remember that very clearly. Being on the side of the field as probably an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, watching you and my brother shake it up there at IPTs and representing the KZN Raiders back then. So yeah, for me, watching from a young age and hoping to be firstly on those provincial levels to where I am now has really been cool. So yeah, man, it's awesome to be here, and I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, if we go back, I guess to that time, you speak of your older brother. You know, obviously someone who's probably played a big role in terms of your hockey career. Someone you obviously working close with at the moment as well. But going back to that particular time when you were young and he was a very gifted player in his own right, is it someone you looked up to? Is it someone who pushed you to be better? What were the battles like in the garden? Let me take you through all of that.
Yeah, definitely, Maz. The battles were intense. I mean, he's 7 years older than me, so it was tough competition in the backyard. But I think from back then, I always learned not to give up. I didn't have much of a choice. I'd try go cry to mom and tell her he's bullying me and all sorts of stuff, but I didn't really stand a chance. So that spirit in me came from those moments, actually. Just having to fight and him not letting me back down. And yeah, I've definitely learned a lot from him. And like you said earlier, just watching the tournaments you guys played at as youngsters, I always aspired to be there, and yeah, no doubt learned a lot from him.
Now you've mentioned I guess a key part with regards to growing up, and but I'm not happy about one thing. You know, you didn't have to mention the age
What's
because
that?
now people know now they can take Billy's age and add 7 years, then they know my come on, man.
Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that, Maz.
Look, I mean, you
But it's
got
the
come on.
truth. It's the truth. Experiences. There's nothing wrong with experience. I feel old at my age, so don't feel too bad, bro. I mean, you guys are still youthful, still keeping it hip and hop. So don't stress too much, bro.
Look, I've got a second ID. That's the problem. You know, sometimes I produce this one
A
when I
football
wanna,
ID.
you gotta. Yeah,
You
but I mean,
naughty.
yeah, but I mean, great times. And I mean, growing up playing hockey in KwaZulu Natal, I mean, we both know the type of competition and type of players that are there. I mean, that would have been a key part in terms of your development. And then going to a school like a Kearsley College, it will no doubt would have been a massive privilege for you. And it definitely would have put you on that path that you needed to go to.
For sure, Maz. I mean, I remember, like you say, when I used to watch you guys, I was still in junior primary and senior primary, where I went to a school called Thomas More. Not such a big sporting school. And I remember my decisions that I had to make at the end of that journey, going into high school, were really difficult ones. And my brother played a big role in that. Obviously, my mom as well. But yeah, I remember my brother just encouraging me to, you know, put in applications at these schools that were in better spaces for sportsmen. And I did that, and that paid off for sure. I was able to go to Kearney College, where I was around some of the best players. I got more opportunities. The facilities were great, and I was able to push myself, and then ultimately compete with guys provincially, having placed myself in a better environment. So that definitely helped a lot. And yeah, I think it's paid off.
Sometimes it sucks when you are a big brother, because I look at you sitting into Thomas More. I mean, we used to give them hidings all the time, and we used to give
We did.
daily bread, and then you look at myself, I went to Kingsway High School, and obviously later on I did post matric at Glenwood High School, but my brother went to Marisburg College, and it's like, man, why are these guys getting all these nice things?
That is the truth. That is the truth, Maz. Yeah, I mean, I remember it very clearly. We still have the conversations today about how, the younger brothers are often more lucky, but it also comes from, you guys as the older brothers just wanting the best for your younger brothers. I mean, I went to Kearney because my brother was the one pushing it the most. I almost actually stayed at Thomas More. If it was my decision, I probably would have stayed, because my friends were there and I was a youngster trying to make decisions. But yeah, the older brothers always help you and push you in the right direction. So credit to you guys. I mean, that, like I said, I probably wouldn't have gone to a boys' school, a boarding school, if it wasn't for my brother. So yeah.
It's really funny that you mentioned that, because a kind of the relationship that I had built up with some of the people at Marisburg College, that obviously wanted me to come there. Um, that's how my brother actually got in. I made a call to Mike Pesce, and he made things
Yeah.
happen. And it's a funny story. It's like,
It makes complete sense.
we kind of,
Exactly my situation.
yeah, we kind of live out our dreams through you guys as well. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%. My brother was, in his grade 11 year, almost at Marisburg College. He was even in grade 11, a last minute thing, trying to, push and get there. His mates were wanting him to be there. Eventually it didn't happen. He stuck it out and finished at Thomas More. But then, yeah, for sure, when I came through to my grade 6, grade 7 year, he was at the forefront and pushing it to happen. I went for interviews at college. I went for interviews at Glenwood, at Westville, and all sorts of other schools. And yeah, ultimately I went to Kearney. But you're 100% right. I think my brother sort of lived what he would have loved through me. So there's nothing wrong with that.
So you had the chance to go to Glenwood and you didn't go. Come on, man.
Mazi, I had the chance to go to Glenwood. I had the chance to go to college. I was, in my head, a green machine guy. I think their marketing and their propaganda worked really well on me. My grade 7 space case was full of the stickers they had given me. I was en route to Glenwood. And then, yeah, ultimately that changed a little bit later in the year.
No, fair enough, man, and a great place to start, at Kearsley College. But I mean, moving on beyond that, you felt your hockey would have gone in leaps and bounds. I know you went to the Youth Olympics as well. Am I correct in saying that? And I mean, what kind of experience is that? I mean, you're obviously going to the Olympic Games now, but having experience against the junior version, uh, it'll probably be a different ball game altogether.
For sure. I think it'll definitely be a different ball game. But I remember that year, 2014, I was an 18-year-old boy, and the few of us in that squad always used to have the conversations, how will the senior version be? Will we make it there? Of course, we aspired to, and it just seemed so far away that time. But yeah, I remember that year very clearly, Maz. It was a long year and a good one for me personally. I got a lot of opportunities. We went to an Africa Cup qualifier for the Youth Olympic Games in Zambia. So that's where it started earlier in the year. I actually had to sacrifice quite a bit for that. I missed my matric dance, which my mom wasn't too happy about. But yeah, that's something that, for me, set out my intentions very clearly. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a hockey player and I wanted to make it far. So I then went on to play against Australia in a series at Kearney. And then we went to the Youth Olympics later in August, which was incredible. It was a massive eye opener for us. We had a great group who were ambitious. We, played the top nations, obviously at youth level, but we were very, ambitious. We were brave in competition. We came fourth there, just missing out on the medal. So yeah, it really made us, look at the bigger senior Olympics and want it really badly. So for me to be here now, I'm so excited. We have a really tough pool in the Olympics this year, but yeah, I'm still ambitious and I'm hopeful that we can do something special.
And I mean, I'm just listening to that's Youth Olympics record there. Finishing fourth. That's, I guess, and I don't mean it in a bad way. It's not something that we normally associated with South African hockey, to be that close to, I guess, meddling at major tournaments. And again, it shows just how strong, I guess, our school hockey is, and maybe it's that transition then to senior hockey that perhaps is a little bit tricky, in terms of you've seen how European nations, like a country like Belgium, who weren't all that great maybe 20 years ago, all of a sudden they invest a lot in their game, and it becomes a different ball game altogether. This generation that you speak of now, that you speak of with regards to the Youth Olympics, and you look at that generation as then the generation that also then has our best ever finish at the Under-21 World Cup. So there's a lot of positives that I guess your particular group of players, I guess the golden generation, if you want to call it, can take going into these Olympics.
For sure, Maz. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. That's where we do struggle as a country. I think the hockey at youth level, in particular school, has always been at a high level. I know the previous S under 18 side just a year or two ago played a series again against Australia, and they managed to actually win that series. When I was 18, we played in the series. We, were 1-1 going into the final game, the decider, and we lost that. So that was also a narrow defeat. So I think hockey at youth level has always been good, and still is. And then it's just that, how we transition into senior side, where the senior national teams of other countries start really developing properly and at a quicker rate with the technologies they have and all sorts of things. So I think that's where sometimes it's difficult to bridge the gap, and then funding comes into it, obviously, of their program. So I think, as you say, we are the same generation now, and most of us, or half of us, I would say, are the same generation that had that Junior World Cup year, that Youth Olympic year. We are now in the senior team, and we, I think, have the mindset that is needed. We are ambitious, we're brave, and I think regardless of the challenges we go through, we still come with a good mindset, and we go for it no matter what. And I think that's a very South African thing anyway, just to go for it, to not back down and to back yourself completely. So yeah, I don't think that'll change, and hopefully, that can stand us in good stead.
Yeah, and I know the conversation with regards to, I guess, the post-school development and the funding, and we can speak about that all day. At the end of the day, sometimes in life you got to deal with what's in front of you. And I know you guys as a team have made sure that you've come together and that you've tried to make the most of the circumstances. And no doubt we will be dying to fly the flag high.
Yeah, Maz, you know us well, and you know the situation well too. So that's exactly it. We know the challenges, and a culture, a theme of our culture that we've had for the last few years in this team is, to let go of the uncontrollables, and not make excuses, because the situation is what it is, like you say. But what we control is how we play on the field, how we prepare off the field, and how we, perform on game day. So we've really tried to forget about the challenges, and just focus on what we can do. And yeah, I think that's helped us in the last few years and qualifying for the Olympics, and the other tournaments we've been to. So that is something we are going to try to do once again. Just forget about the circumstances. COVID has hit us differently to how it's hit other countries, in all honesty. We had a lot of preparation tournaments, a lot of series that were cancelled at the beginning of this year and the end of last year. So we're still trying to do what we can to prepare and, go into those games without any excuses in our heads, and just compete to the best we can.
Yeah, fantastic in terms of mentality and obviously what the team will want to achieve. And no doubt, hockey fans across the continent, hockey fans in South Africa will be fully behind the team. But what I want you to do, perhaps, there'll be people who will be listening who will be wondering, on a daily basis. I know you guys are quite good with your social media. I know your manager Martin is quite sharp with regards to all of that kind of stuff. But on a daily basis, with regards to camp, with regards to how things are going in Potchefstroom, specifically prepping for the Olympics. Take me through, I guess, your day-to-day, vibes, and take me through the stuff that you guys do together, just having fun.
Yeah, I think we really try to keep ourselves busy, Maz. Besides the general stuff, the hockey prep and the more serious business, just being in this COVID time, in the bubble life, we've really tried to fill in the gaps really well, which has brought us closer as a team. So yeah, the guys get really creative. We actually have, sort of committees that take charge of certain things. We have the vibe control guys, we have the entertainment section. The guys have set up all sorts of things. We've played a little golf day around the Potchefstroom villas here. We've had all sorts, Maz. We've had board games being played around. We've had card games. We have a lot of entertainment sections. But then in terms of the hockey and the serious business, we've been working really hard. Like I said, we've missed a lot of time together at the beginning of this year and the end of last year. We would have loved to have been together. We were supposed to be together, but we were unable to because of the virus. So in terms of on the pitch, we have probably 2 sessions a day most days. If we don't get on the pitch, we go to the gym. We take a jog there as a team, and we get in the gym, do our work there, and we'll have a session in the afternoon as well. Last week we were here together where we played against the S under 21s who also camped here with us. So that was really good. And it was a packed day in terms of the schedule. We wake up in the morning. We've been trying to wake up at around 6, 7 in the morning just to also start getting our body clocks right for Tokyo. So that's been challenging for some of the guys, to be up at 6 o'clock, just go for a walk and only have breakfast at 8. So that's been a challenge. And then after breakfast, we get probably an hour of downtime just to let the food digest, and we're out on the pitch for a morning session more often than not. And then we'll have our lunch break, and then have another session later in the afternoon. It gets quite cold here in Potch, so those are always a little bit difficult to get ready for, but yeah, it's been good. It's been good to be together.
And the one thing that I guess I wanted to touch on, obviously, we know with regards to Olympic prep, it's always very tricky, but no doubt, I guess the love we get from not only fans of hockey, but also our family, is extremely important. No doubt, Mom, who was always such a massive fan of being on the sidelines, when we were younger. I'm sure that's even the same today. And if it went her way, she'd probably be in Tokyo with you guys.
100%, Mazia. You know the story. We used to have to quieten her down on the side of the field sometimes when she got a little bit too excited. But yeah, for sure, she's always been a huge fan of ours. And both my brother and I being in this team is something that's really special, not just for us, but for her too. So we really try to represent her well. And yeah, we wish the circumstances were different and we could have her come watch. That is definitely one of my dreams in my career, to one day be able to just fly over to a major tournament and have her watching on the stands. She has watched a tournament we had locally a few years ago, World League, when she came out to Joburg. But yeah, something abroad where she can have a little bit of a holiday as well, and then watch me at a major tournament would be amazing.
Now, the one thing that I wanted to bring up is obviously, I know you lost your sister a few years ago. No doubt, this sort of an achievement, is also a special one, not only to mom, but also in her memory with regards to, I guess, playing at the highest level and doing so as the Ntuli family and making sure that, that name is known around the world in the hockey circles.
For sure, Maz. Yeah, when that happened, a lot changed in our lives. And for me personally, everything I do is in her name, and to try best represent her and my family, to make mom proud as well. So yeah, that's not been easy, but over the last few years, especially when I'm in a hockey environment, my sister was a hockey player herself, so we really try to keep the name up high and represent her well. So thanks for mentioning that, Maz.
Yeah, no, I mean it's something that'll always be special to me. Family is, I guess we're nothing without family. And no doubt having Sihle there, a guy I've known since we were 15 years old, having him there with you, no doubt will be something that'll be massive for the both of you. But also for South African hockey, to see two Black African young guys, going out there doing their thing. Sihle as a coach, you as a player, no doubt it's something major, and it's something that we will continue to celebrate as the broader hockey community.
Yeah, it's really special, Maz, like you say. I remember going to the 2018 Com Games a few months after my sister had passed, and actually my brother hadn't been named as the national assistant yet. So in terms of my family, I was the only one there. But I had my teammates obviously supporting me, which was great. But after he got named as a part of the team and he went to the World Cup with us, and he's been a part of the team ever since. It's been awesome to just have him, next door to me when we're on tour and we're far away from home. We can keep comms with our family group and chat to mom day in, day out. If I'm not replying, he's chatting to her. So that really helps to have him around, just on a family aspect. And then, yeah, to represent our community is really massive for us. We, grew up in a township, for a long time. So to represent all those kids back home who, didn't think it was possible for someone from there to represent South Africa at such a stage, it's important for us to fly that flag high too.
And no doubt the entire group will be looking to fly the flag high. I guess the one thing that I want to touch on, before I let you go, is with regards to, I guess, that camaraderie, and the importance of it. I mean, a little bit earlier, I did touch on the fact that a lot of you know each other well. Even the senior guys, they've always been a very welcoming group. But again, I want to just touch on that young core. Yourself, your Tyson Lungwanas, your Ryan Julius's. I guess that big core that comes from that under 21 setup, that comes from that youth Olympic setup. How important is that brotherhood? A player I forgot to mention is Tevin Koch. I know he's also been there for along the journey, and if I haven't mentioned someone, they'll just have to forgive me. But I mean, again, just that sense of brotherhood, on the field of play, off the field of play, and the memories you make as athletes.
Yeah, it's massive, Maz, and you're a big sportsman, so you'll know the importance of not just the on the field stuff, but how we get along as people outside of the field. And like you say, a big group of us have come through the ranks together from under 18 to the Junior World Cup as under 21s. and we've come into this group and not just come in as big numbers. We've joined a large group who were here before us too, in the senior side, the likes of Rassie, Tim Drummond and Austin Smith and the rest of them. They've been here for a while, and we didn't know them too well, you know, when we first arrived into the setup. But over the years, we've really gotten closer to all of the guys, and the two groups have sort of merged together very seamlessly. The last 2 years, we've also had, you know, sports psychologists work with us, in Craig and Ian Shippey, and they've been amazing for us just to build that culture, to bring us close together. We also have a large group who play in Europe, and then a large number of us who play locally. So to bring that together as well has been important, and it's really helped us a lot. So I'd say as a group now, we are more together than ever. It's really amazing. We did an exercise where we just learned firstly about each other a few years ago, and did personal histories and that sort of thing, just to lay the base, and that was really important. So guys very quickly understood each other's backgrounds, and we still work through that today. We get to know each other even more every time we meet. So it's really helped, and like I say, the vibe in the camp is amazing at the moment. We have little golf days, and even the likes of Tevin Cock are enjoying their golf nowadays. So it's really worked, and it's helping the group a lot.
Yeah, really good to hear that. And no doubt, I guess anyone who'll be watching or listening will be really happy to hear that sense of camaraderie will be there. And no doubt, even for a player who has, I guess, is going to be missing the flight. You look at a guy like Asea Noluchungu, someone who you'll know very well, obviously suffered an injury. I know he might watch this. What message do you send to him, as a guy who was supposed to be on that plane and unfortunately, injury struck?
Yeah, I mean, we all know injury is something that's, always possible in a sportsman's life. But just to see it happen and be around it was not easy at all for the whole group. Yeah, we've known Sia for a long time, and yeah, it wasn't easy to witness. He's also such an important member of the group anyway, besides his talent on the field. Just as a person and as a a leader, he's huge for the team. And that energy will be missed for sure. We wish him a safe recovery, and I think he'll have a speedy one, because he is really disciplined mentally, and he'll do well, and he'll be back soon. But there are other guys that have missed out through selection that are part of the broader squad, who I guess motivate us. That's the guys we sort of playing for and fighting for when we go out there. The likes of Owen Vimbi, Richard Pouts, and I could go on. There's a big list of guys who've missed out, unfortunately. And yeah, we will be working hard for them. And, I know they're back home supporting us.
In closing, this is something maybe, I guess, closer to my heart, but South African hockey recently lost a legend in Alistair Fredericks. I don't know how well you would have known Ali, but, I wanted to do a lot of hockey stuff towards as we get closer to the Olympics. And I thought, today's show is a kind of show that I would have liked to have dedicated to his memory, just in terms of, I guess, what you would have thought of Ali, how you got to know him, and I guess any memory that you want to share. If we can do that, just to wrap things up. I don't know. It's it's a weird one,
No, 100%, Maz. Ali was, I know you knew him very well, locally, and was a special person to you. But I think for a lot of us in the hockey community, he was a massive legend for us. I've known Ali for some time as well, when I came into the senior side, and my brother's known Ali before me, and the things Ali Fredericks did for SA hockey were massive, and not just SA hockey, in particular the players of color in the national setup. He was always someone we could go to when we couldn't speak to anyone. He was always someone we could go and confide in, and he really helped us a lot. I can go on with the amount of stories I have and the times of where Ali helped me as a player individually. But yeah, it's a massive loss for South African hockey, and yeah, condolences to his family and his loved ones. Yeah, he'll be missed, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Billy. Obviously, been a very difficult time, but nonetheless, we called him the Banny, the Bannister, whatever you wanted to call him, a true legend. And today's episode is dedicated to Alistair Fredericks, the first player of color to play for South Africa, the quickest hands in the game, and yeah, gentleman of note. So yeah, salute to Ali, salute to you, Billy. Nqobile, I call you Nqobile,
That's
I call
correct.
the guy, hey,
You do.
Nqobile,
You do.
you know,
You
but
remind me of home when you do that.
gotta do it right, But
For
yeah, thank you
sure.
for your time. All the best for the Olympic Games. Please send my regards to everyone in the team. And yeah, man, we will be watching closely. And as always, even if we're not saying much, we watch, we support, and we're always behind both the South African men's and women's hockey teams.
Appreciate that, Maz. Really do. Thank you so much for having me, and I will definitely pass that message on to the boys. They know you well, and it will definitely give us a bit of motivation going forward. Thank you so much again, bro.
All good, brother. Enjoy, yeah.
Appreciate it. Cheers, man.